Hey guys, welcome back. So this is server configuration, video 9. This is going to be the fun stuff, the meat and potatoes, when we start getting into the web server and ingesting logs, pointing logs, and doing all this good stuff with the server and the sensor. Okay, so let's go ahead. At this point, what we have to do is start up all of our servers, get everything booted up. We should be at that point. This might take a few minutes. That's why I did it prior to starting the video. And what we can do is look at my pretty sign. Just kidding. So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and ping all my servers. So 192.168.100.200 is my web server. We're good there. And I'm going to go ahead and do 150. We're good there. And the last one is going to be 151. Perfect. And I'm at 102. Okay, so we're good there. So everything is good. So now what we can do is browse out to the OSSIM server, which is at 150. So let's go ahead and open up Firefox on our Kali machine or whatever machine you're using. I'm just using Kali for this. I think Kali would be best because we're going to be running like Nikto. We're going to be running some stuff shortly. So I believe having this would be good. All right, so let's do 150. And if you're getting this, let me make this a little larger for more real estate. Let's try to make that as big as I can. Okay, so what we're going to do here is go ahead and accept this. So we can go to advanced. We can accept the risk because there's no SSL cert. And once we have this page, the administrator account creation, we can just put our full name. I'm just going to put Patrick. The username is admin. That's fine. My password is going to be password, super secure. And then my email can just be like pat@pat.com. Doesn't really matter because this is not really going out to the internet. And I can just put NA here. Okay. So I can just put Patrick Gorman. That's fine. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and start using it. All right, so let's go ahead and put in our fancy password we just created, which mine is password. And I can just save it, just so I don't have to do anything later on. All right, so here it is. Welcome to the Alienvault OSSIM Getting Started Wizard. So we can hit start here. And we're going to go ahead and go through all these sections. So we have one management interface, which is at 192.168.100.150 in my case. So let me go ahead and click on next. Okay. So these are my servers, my OSSIM server, the sensor. So this is going to be Linux as well. And this is my Kali box. So this is Linux. And this is my gateway. So we can also manually add a host. So I want to put web server. So my web server is at 200. So let's do that, 168.100.200. Okay, and I know that's a Linux box. So let me go ahead and add that. So we have all of the hosts here. We have my Kali box, and we have the two sensor and server. Okay, so we should be good there. All right, so let me see if I can, I don't know if I can edit that, but it's fine. So let's go ahead and hit next here. So now we want to go ahead and deploy the HIDs. So what we can do here is let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's clear out everything here. So what we're going to do is deploy this first on, we can do the OSSI server, and we can do those two first in my case. And I'm going to do root because that's the username. And then my password is password. Let's go ahead and hit deploy, continue. Let's make sure this is good to go. And then the next one for the web server, that's going to be different because we changed our username and password, for that server. So I'm going to do the first two first, and then, okay. They were able to successfully, okay, perfect. Good. So now what I want to do is do the web server, and my web server is Patrick is my user, and then password is my password. Let's go ahead and deploy that. Continue. And we're going to make sure all that is good to go. So let's give that a moment. And I hope you guys are enjoying this little course. It's pretty fun. It's always good to know some different technologies and just different things in the SOC and the other parts of cybersecurity. So, okay, cool deal. So we did that. Now we can go ahead and click on next. And log management, we'll give that a moment to come up. All right, so we can hit skip this step. Obviously, this is all internal. So this is, good for us. So we're not getting out to the internet. So the OTX is definitely good to have, which is the Open Threat Exchange. And you have indicators of compromise as well. But of course, we don't have internet. But in the real world, you will have this. Okay, we can skip that and hit finished. Now it says congratulations. Now we can go ahead and explore Alienvault OSSIM. Perfect. So now, once we have this here, we can, look around, search around. So what we're going to do first is we can go to the dashboard, and then we can go to configuration. And in configuration, we can click on deployment. Okay. So we want to make sure these are all good to go. This is retrieving. Let's go to sensors. And what we can do in sensors, we have to click on insert. So we have to insert this sensor. So 151 is my sensor, and my password is going to be password. All right, so let's go ahead and hit save. Let that save, let that do its thing. We'll give that a moment. And just a little heads up, obviously in a lab environment, depending on your resources, depending on how much memory you have, and all that good stuff, in your device itself, your computer that you're running this lab on, it depends on how fast things are going to work. But expect it to be a little slower than normal, just to give you an insight. And this is probably going to be a pretty long video. I'm going to be honest, because we have a lot of configuration to do, and but it's going to be well worth it. You're going to see how you can ingest logs, how you can look at alerts, and all that good stuff. All right, so the status for the server, the sensor. Let's go back here. Did it just? Oh, it's still retrieving. So we'll give this a moment. And once this actually retrieves, and then we can go ahead and look up some stuff. So for the server, you can click on details here. You can look at the details of the server, right? So you can see what IP address is at, what network, and all that good stuff. And you can see the data. But let's go back to Alienvault Center. And we'll give this a moment to finish up its sensor. I should add more memory to this VM. That's something I definitely should do, because I only have 2 gigs allocated to that machine. But we'll get there when we get there. We'll give this a moment. As you can see here, it's really choking. You see that? It only has 2 gigs and it's running at 60%. But okay, perfect. But we'll make that change later. So now we have up status. So we are good there. So for the sensor, we have to make some little changes. So if we click on this little retrieving data, and in here, we're going to go ahead and configure sensor right here. Okay. When we configure the sensor, we have to do a few more things, and also learn patience, because this is a slow machine. And yeah, so we'll give this a moment to finish up retrieving the sensor configuration. And I think once this is done, I want to go ahead and probably shut this down and add more memory, because this is going to kill me if I don't upgrade this memory. You know what? What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and shut this down and reboot. So let's go ahead and do that, guys. Let's go ahead and shut this down really quick. And I want to do it with you guys just in case you guys need to do the same. I want to power that off. And once that's off, I want to go ahead and go to settings. Go to settings, and we're going to add some more memory. So system, I want to add 6 gigs. That should be good for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit start. And sorry for this little inconvenience, but I just think it'll be better once it's up and running with 6 gigs of RAM. I should have done that before, but it is what it is, right? So we'll let this boot up, and we'll give this a moment to cook. It shouldn't take long. It should take only a few moments because we just have to log back into the server and get back right where we were, and then we can continue. All right, so let's go ahead and log in. Cali. Okay. So now, once we log back in, let's go ahead and open up Firefox, and let's go browse back out to our server. Oh, not Twitter. We don't have Twitter. Oh, what's going on? Oh, my numlock is off. Okay. There we go. All right, let's log in. All right, so probably a lot better now. So let's go back into configuration, threat intelligence, or deployment, sorry. All right, so we'll let this retrieve. Once this is done, we'll get back to where we were. I'm sure it's going to be a little quicker now, I hope. All right, so the sensors are here. That's if the both status is good. Let's go to Alienvault Center. All right, so now let's go ahead and go to sensor configuration. And hopefully it goes quicker now. That was a lot quicker from the first time, so here we go. Perfect. That's definitely better. Okay. Let this thing do its thing. All right, so now we can go to detection. And in detection, we have the detectors all good to go. And we have the listening interfaces on ETH1, which is perfectly fine for us. And this is all good, right? Just wanted to show you guys everything here. You can look at the servers, and we should only have one server. Okay, perfect. So now let's go ahead and go back to the top of configuration. Let's go to threat intelligence. Okay. So in here, we're going to go ahead and go to, all right. So for an example, if I want to go ahead and look up Nikto, let's look up Nikto for an example. So we have Nikto here, right? So let's go ahead and bring this down. So we have !home_net. This is the rule that's from and to HomeNet. So what we have to do here is we have to change this because this is, for example, anything from the outside going in. So in our case, we have everything sitting inside the network, right? We have everything internally. So this is not going to work for us, right? So let's go ahead and clone this. We're going to go ahead and, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now we have this new cloned. So now what we can do is edit this. Let's go ahead and edit. Oh, not there. Let's go here. Yes. Whoops, sorry, I don't want to do that. I don't want to clone that. Yes, I meant to hit the arrow down. Okay, so now we have this cloned. So we have to hit this little plus bar here. And here we can remove this. So let's go ahead and hit the X. And if we can see, like for example, if we want to go to our network, in our case, 192.168.100.x/24, we can see all of our servers, right? But if we just want anything from the inside, so home_net, so this is going to be my source, right? And I want to go to any. So let's click on modify. Okay. we should be good there, right? So now what we can do now is go ahead and come up. Let's come up. I think my thing is now going a little bonkers. So let's go ahead and reload. Yes. Okay, so everything is successfully saved. We're good here. Perfect. So now what we want to do is go to the sensor server, to the sensor. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's come over here. Let's log in. Okay. So it's root and then whatever password you have. So let's go ahead and jailbreak the system. Yes. All right. So now we can do, like, for an example, ls pwd. It's the same thing as Linux. So what we have to do now is make some modifications to the system, right? So let's go ahead and cd to etc Suricata. Of course, Suricata is what. Give me 1 second. Suricata. So now we do an ls. So this is pretty much what we're going to be using to monitor the NIDs, the network intrusion detection system. So what we have to do, we can go ahead and use nano. So we can do sudo. Let's just see if we can just do nano. But I'm sure we're going to have to do sudo. But let's just do nano. And here we have a suricata.yum file. So let's do Suricata. All right. So here, what we have to do is make a change to the external net. So what does that mean? So on like a firewall, you have an external interface and you have an internal interface to traverse that data between the outside of the network and the inside of the network. Since here in our lab, we have everything inside the same network that sits in 192.168.100. Whatever, we have to make that change. All right, so we can do a control W inside nano to search. And then I'm going to go ahead and insert external. Oh. Let me do this again. Let me go W. All right, let me do this. External. Underscore net. Okay, so here, this is what our external is. We're going to put this on any. We're going to have any, because we don't care. We want to make sure everything is flowing. There's no hiccups or anything like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do a control X. Yes, I want to make changes to the file. Okay, so now I can pretty much, let me see if I can cat that. Suricata, and I want to pipe grep, and I want to put external. Just to make sure everything is good. External underscore net. Perfect. There we go. So it's right there. It's sitting on any. Perfect. We are good to go. So now what we have to do is restart the service, right? So let's do service. Let me just do a control L. Start from scratch, service, and then Suricata, restart. Okay, so now it's going to stop that and then restart it to make sure everything is good to go. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's go exit here, enter. All right, so now let's go back to our Kali machine. And here, what we can do is let's go to alarms. All right, so here there's no alarms yet, right? We don't see any alarms yet. But now what we can do is set off some alarms to happen, right? So let's give that a try. Let's see if we can do that. So inside of Kali, let's open up a command shell, command prompt, whatever, terminal, whatever you guys want to call it. Okay, let's do sudo. All right, so in here we can use a tool called Nikto. So Nikto -h. In my case, I have my web server is at 200. So we'll give this a moment to do its thing. And then we'll go back and see if it's set off any alarms. So let's give that a moment. we'll give this, hopefully this is making sense. And if there's any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord or anything, because this is probably going to be the most, since the course started, this is probably going to be the most, intense video to try to understand and follow, because there's a lot. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go ahead and refresh, see if we get any alarms. We didn't get any alarms yet. Let's see what, just make sure everything is good. Okay, so everything is up. Let's go ahead and just go back here really quick. Sensor configuration, just want to make sure everything is good. It probably takes a minute to actually flow, but we'll give it a moment. All right, so let's see, let's go back to detection. It's all up, they're all up, so that's good. ETH0, yep, that's good. Just want to make sure everything is good here. Let's go back to dashboard really quick, overview. We can see, okay, now we can start seeing stuff here. So let's go to alert. Okay, so now we can start seeing web servers, hit files. Okay, there we go. It just took a second. So now we can see that there's files in here. As a SOC analyst, as a, whatever you want to call yourself, this is where you're going to spend a lot of your time, right? In here, we're going to look at, different tickets, different devices. So yeah, this is pretty much where you're going to spend most of your time. And let's go back here. Let's go ahead and bring this back. Let's go to alarms. And yeah, so say for an example, we want to dig into one of these. And let's click on any of them. And we can dig deeper into the actual ticket, right? We can come down here. We can say, okay, this is the roll log. What was going on with this? We can say, okay, Patrick at this, blah, 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 SSH integrity, whatever the case may be, right? You can, start fiddling around, playing around, setting off alarms, and all that good stuff. If you want to make any changes, you can definitely go into your configuration and, different sensors and all that stuff. And, you want to go into your threat intelligence and, make sure, check your settings, whatever you want to test and check for, you're more than happy to do so. And yeah, just whatever you tinker with, just keep learning. And there's so much more to learn with a SIM tool. There's different policies. You can create new policies and all that stuff. But that's the overall configuration for this video. So hopefully it's been informative for you guys. And thank you so much for checking us out. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And yeah, many more to come. Thank you.